first takeaway was for the first time in 2024, Gen X gave more total dollars than boomers, although it took more givers to accomplish it. And I think that this is one of those understated shifts that we saw in the data. It was, I mean, we had to go back and look twice, Dwayne, right? We were like,
Yep.
wait a minute, did Gen X actually outgive boomers? Sure, it took more, obviously, of them to do it, but they gave a lot more money. Dwayne, what do we make of this? What does it represent, and what can we do to really strengthen and secure the giving of Gen X in light of the fact that two tables ago we were seeing that Gen X's giving actually dropped 9.3% over the 4 years. What are some good strategy points that we can give practitioners?
So I think the key, Tim, we already touched on it, is one is Gen X. They're probably in their, I think they're 45 and older, 45 to 60,
Hmm.
basically. So they're in the prime of their earning years. And so their cash flow is probably the best it's ever going to be. And so how do you engage them in that? But also, how do you start to set the stage? Because eventually, those who are on the later end of that, the older Gen X's, they're going to start moving into a asset-based lifestyle. And so how do you disciple them? How do you equip them for the season that they're in today? But how do you begin to disciple them and engage them towards the lifestyle that they'll be in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Because I think that's part of the key challenge that we have here is the fact that they're not always going to be in their prime earning years. They're going to become the next boomers. And Tim, to your point, we actually celebrated that when we saw this data that Gen X gave more than the boomers, but it also pointed to the fact that the boomer giving was starting to drop, and we were going to start to see the transition of next generations actually give more than the boomers over these next few years.